Hey everybody, welcome back to a new episode of Gravity Wells Live. Whew. Now today I'm just working on my map a bit this morning. Kind of had a little bit of inspiration from Matt. Maybe I should put up that inspiration on the screen first. Yeah, let's do that. Now what happened was Matt shared a picture and I liked it, so I decided to map it. Because every time I see something these days, I always like to relate it to maps. Alright, looks like, where did I put that picture? Ah, there it is. Alright, so let's bring the picture Matt shared on the screen. So some people are also into this straight line research, where they'll sometimes take ancient sites and then draw a straight line across them. So I was like, wow, it'd be kind of neat to map some of these straight lines on my map and see how it relates to it. Or basically map it on Google Earth and then compare the two and see if the maps are any similar. Alright, so yeah, let's do that first. I'll hide my regular map and we'll put up this map line, the one that Matt has in his picture. It's Cambodia to Guatemala. So let's bring that up on the map and we'll check it out. Alright, let's check out this line here. So here you can see on like a regular flat plain map, that's what the line looks like. But if you put it on a globe, how it looks, let's take a look. Sorry if my nose starts bleeding. It's actually why I was up so early this morning. Had a bad nosebleed. Alright, so anyways, let's begin. So this is the straight line. And people probably have heard of this line before because this is basically the Montana line that Julie Ryder talks about a lot. So it's kind of neat that the line that Julie's talking about just so happens to be the same line as those two ancient sites drawn together. And it also happens to crisscross or outline the edge of South America there. And the mountain chain on North America's west coast. And it divides the center of the pole's left half. Oh, and it starts mapping the edge of Asia. So you can see that this line is pretty sweet. Alright, so let's just type in the addresses of this line so that we can prove that it actually is this line before we continue. So let's try back C Cham Temple. Here we go. Cambodia. We'll go to it. Yep. So you can see the Chamarong Temple or whatever it's called. I got the line mapped right over it. Alright. So next one. We'll just go right. Well, let's zoom out so we can see it. You can see this isn't even far from Angkor Wat, eh? I think Angkor Wat's in the same temple complex. But anyways, let's zoom out. We'll see Angkor Wat soon, because it'll be the next line coming up. Alright, so let's do that. Next line. Where is it? Tikal. Tikal, Guatemala. Now this one I had to put a little bit off to the side because Tikal on the map and the temple is slightly offset, but either way, we'll show where it is. See, there's the actual place of Tikal, and then here's the actual temple that they show in Matt's picture. So I put it over the temple, and you can see how it sort of lines up with the alignment of the temples too, right? which ones do we got here? If I brought regular Google Earth, it would tell me like this one's like the Temple of the Jaguar, or this one's Temple of the Sun or something. But anyways, so that's the line. So you can see that the line is actually crossing the two places that Matt showed in the picture. Let's go back to it. So here we have Tikal and Chamorong. That's the line that connects those two. Now it's funny too, because this is just an arbitrary sort of like alignment, right? We're just saying, hey, these temples kind of look alike. Let's draw a line between them. So anyone can say, hey, let's draw lines between any arbitrary things that look alike on the planet, and you're going to get some line, right? Straight across the whole globe. So anyway, so that's a pretty arbitrary line, right? But it could have some sort of connection. And just judging how it's outlining the continents, it's a little bit suspicious, because you're like, hey, wait a minute. That does outline the continents pretty good there. But then again, if you're going to draw any line randomly on the globe, it should outline some continents, right? So that's not really enough evidence at this point. And this is actually how I started making my gravity well map. We're going over the stages, because this was the first line I got in the puzzle, the one that Julie Ryder gave me. So the next line that we have in the puzzle is, let's remove this line for now. I'll see if I can find a Google Earth image for it. Let's leave this image on the screen for now. Oh, it's the wrong one. Dear God. Alright. Sorry, I'm the worst with my images. Hopefully I didn't show any boobs. Alright, anyways. Now if they did, hopefully YouTube will let me know and I can just remove it. So anyways, what was I getting to? Oh yeah, the other line. So first we'll leave the Cambodia line. And next what I'll do is I'm just going to do a quick search on Google Earth, or Google, and we'll bring up the next major line. And I'll cite the researcher who talked about this line first, because I don't want to claim that I made this other line up either. Alright, so who was it? Line between Giza, like the Great Pyramid of Giza, the next part is Angkor Wat, Ankh, and Easter Island. So Easter Island's kind of a funny one, because the first two things he lists on this line are actually like man-made structures. But then Easter Island is just like an island, right? It's not really a man-made structure, although it does have man-made structures on it. But it's kind of funny just to like mention an island as part of this line. But anyways, even though that's part of it, let's bring it up and see if I can find out who's the... Alright, so yeah, I found it. Alright, so I'll read this. This is actually from Graham Hancock's work. That's cool. He's one of my favorite researchers. He was one of the guys that made me realize I shouldn't be too freaked out about admitting that I do cannabis and study ancient mysteries. It's pretty much some of the best ancient mystery researchers are into cannabis, so it's not really that big of a deal. I don't know, for me, I got a really bad back and I use it all the time for that, and then even without it, so... Hey, what's up, Gaming Zone? Have I got a video game for you? This is Video Game Earth. And I actually need people that are good at programming video games, so if you know anyone... we could be programming the game of the century. Now, for me, I like to play video games a lot, but I also like Google Earth because I almost think of it as a video game. It's like an Earth simulation game. So that's what I like. I always like SimCity games. So now I started to get into Google Earth and drawing lines on it. But anyways, let's get on to Google, or not Google, Graham. Getting the G's mixed up. The Great Pyramid that Graham's talking about, the GG. Alright, let's get over to it. Alright, so Graham Hancock has mentioned these lines before, and it's cool, because I didn't even know he was one of the researchers going into it. So I just kind of stumbled upon this live on the show. Anyway, so he says geographic relationships. Him and other researchers have noticed that the Great Pyramid is lined with Machu Picchu, Nazca Lines, Easter Island, along a straight line around the center of the Earth, within a margin of error of less than 1/10 of a degree of latitude. So, do you guys want to? I don't know. Did he even add in Angkor Wat? Yeah, here it is. It says Persepolis, the capital city of ancient Persia, Mohenjo-Daro. Oh, so Persepolis. I'll have to check into that. Anyways, I'm saying that wrong, but Mohenjo-Daro, the ancient capital city of the Indus Valley civilization, lost city of Petra. Holy shit, Petra's on the line? I didn't even notice that. The ancient Sumerian city of Ur, and the temples at Angkor Wat are within the ancient of... Holy, all that line. You gotta be fucking shitting me. Anyways, so here Graham Hancock shows the line like this, but what I'll be doing is showing it to you on a globe on Google Earth. Man, I'll really have to read the rest of what Graham Hancock wrote about this, but for now, let's get to the map, because that's really the one portion of the research that I needed. I wish he cited who it was that first came up with this line. He probably says it in there somewhere. If anyone has time to read the whole thing. It's called GrahamHancock.com. Allison J1. So maybe it was a guy named Allison that came up with this line. Yeah, he's got a lot more information about the line. But anyways, alright, so there's the line. And I'll show it to you next on Google Earth. But what I'll do is remove the Cambodia line first, because we're just going to focus on this other line that this guy's talking about. Alright, let's check it out. Back to Google Earth. Now, here's the line he's talking about, and to prove that it goes to where it does, I'll start typing it off, and we'll begin our adventure on Easter Island. So it's nice. Google Earth, I'm just on a side menu typing in where I want to go. Comes up on a list. I click search and boom, it'll take me there. So there you can see Easter Island. It is on this line we're talking about. And note the shape of this island, because we'll be coming up to another island on these lines. It's actually a very similar shape. Anyways, so there's Easter Island. I'll zoom up a bit so when we fly to the next location we're actually zoomed out. Oh, and you'll notice that all the line points on the ocean floor seem to be meeting at Easter Island. Well, not all of them, but a decent amount. So just note that for now. Alright, so there was the Easter Island one. Let's go the Great Pyramid of Egypt. That's what he's saying next. So I'll go the Great... Yeah, there it comes up. The Great Pyramid of Egypt. Or yeah, it says Giza. I always get those mixed up, I guess. Anyways, there's also one in India. I'll have to check that out sometime. But anyways, so we don't get sidetracked. Let's go to the Great Pyramid. See if it's on the line. There we go. Where are we going? Westward, ho. Now, so the Great Pyramid of Giza. So you can see that I'm not shitting you. This one is actually on the line too. Now, he's saying within how many degrees of accuracy. I don't know. With Google Earth, when I mapped it, it like looks like a straight line. But I think actually it is off by what he's saying, how many degrees of inaccuracy. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's a little bit more than that degrees, but I'm not able to calculate how many degrees it's off, so he could be right about that. Anyways, so there's Egypt. So next we'll go to Angkor Wat to show that it is on the line. Yeah, there we go, Angkor Wat. Let's fly to Cambodia. Alright, so next we'll go into Angkor Wat and see if it's over the temple. Yes, we have the line over the temple. So to say Graham Hancock's work is accurate, and you can see even the temple sort of matches the angle of the line too. Right? So, oh yeah, and you can see the mountains and ridges are sort of following the line too. We'll come back to that in a bit. So then you keep following the line. It sort of does cut off the islands of Indonesia, across New Zealand. Or no, that's not New Zealand. That's Papua New Guinea? No, New Caledonia. I always get that one mixed up. Anyway, so yeah, then we're back to Easter Island. So that's kind of neat, eh? It's like you have one line of ancient sites, and then you have another line of ancient sites. Now, arbitrarily, you could say, okay, you're just picking random ancient sites, and they happen to be on lines, and then you're just putting lines that happen to line up on any of them in any random spots on the planet. And at this point, I was like, yeah, I don't see any pattern to this whatsoever at this point. But then there was something weird that happened. What I did is like, okay, I mapped that ancient line. I'll put the other ancient line, see what it looks like. So let's put that one. This is that Cambodia one. Let's see if I got the image still for it. Yeah, so remember this line? That other line that I mapped? So the Cambodia to Guatemala one. Identical temples. Well, not identical, but very close. Anyways, so let's go back to that and show you what it looks like. Both of these lines. At this point, they're just arbitrary lines, right? Could be anything. So let's add it. Boom. So at this point, I was like, okay. What people are saying is there's a grid map and it's centering here. And Nazca lines and all these things are like this giant line pattern. And this is the equator of the line pattern for this ancient site thing, right? So I was like, okay, that's kind of a neat idea. I like this. Maybe this is where the line point is. But then there came a problem. Problem, solution, depending how you want to look at it, is I happened to go up here and go to the tools. And just for interest's sake, I turned on, what is it? View, here it is. View grid. So this will give me the lines of a traditional map. And traditional maps are based on what? The equinoxes, the solstice points, everything for the actual measurements of where the solstices are on the Earth right now. So anyways, just for an interest's sake, that's how the traditional maps are made, this grid that I'm going to put on. So let's put the grid on. Alright. So now I started to see, okay, we got one point here, we got another point here, and we got another point here that seems to be building up if you include the tropic lines. So I was like, okay, that's kind of neat. If there's ancient sites that are on the east coast, all in a straight line, that are lining up here, ones like that, I'm like, hey, what about the sites on the west coast? Because we got ancient sites there too, right? So I'm a big researcher into two places. One would be the Easter Island location that we already established is on the line. So I'm like, why don't I draw a line from Easter Island and see if it does happen to connect to any of the ancient sites I research and make a pattern. So what I call this next line is the sites on Canada's East Coast or North America's East Coast, and it's the Draco Stonehenge to Easter Island line. So let's add that one on the screen. So you can see at this point is when I started to realize, okay, now we're getting some new points on the map. Here's a center point. And another one down here. But what was I going to do? Add the prime meridian. Why is it not on there? Oh yeah, it is. It's that one. So then what I realized is when the equator goes across the globe this way, you can also divide the globe another way, which they call it the prime meridian. And they did their best to calculate it because they can't really use the solstice for this one. But there was some admiral general that found a way to still do it. So that's when I started to add the yellow lines, which is, let's see if I got it here. I wonder which one it is. No, that's second. Looking for the single yellow layer. Here it is. There it is, yellow 1. Must be the prime meridian. There it is. Okay. So this is the other line that divides the globe in half. So oddly enough, what I did is I took this same X pattern that I started to see developing on the globe, and instead of mapping it to where the ancient sites line up, or they used to, making the point here, I decided to move the center point here, like just shift it over if the planet shifted, and then redraw the rest of the map. Like this, going by the same pattern. So then you end up with this, and I'll show you. Now, it's funny, when you fill in this thing with all the colors, here, I'll turn off the ancient ones for now. It looks pretty complicated. Like, geez, especially once you add in the red layer. This is like the full map layer. But if you turn all of them off except just the blue layer, and then compare it to the ancient site map, then, here, let me get rid of these rulers off the screen. That's when you start to see that when the ancients were making their map, they were making it almost very, very identical to the current actual map of today. If you take the traditional equinox, solstice, all those points, and draw out a great circle map that uses full circumference lines instead of just lines that get smaller from the equator. So I don't know, it's pretty wild, eh? Like, you can check, like, it's so close to that line, but it wobbles a bit. So I'm almost thinking maybe this field line is like showing how wide the line actually is. Like maybe it goes blue line, one side of the line, another side of the line there. So it's actually a very thick line field. I can't come to think of why else it's so close to matching. But yet it's off by still quite a bit. I don't know, it's still interesting to think though, right? Like this line here is the ancient pyramid line. This one's that Cambodia line. And you can see those are mapping pretty damn close to the map already. And then once I added in that, what is it, East Coast line, it was pretty damn close to mapping the ancient site one too. And if people are wondering if there's anything at the bottom of the Gulf of Mexico here, there's actually a giant heat anomaly, and they're trying to explain what's causing it. But scientists still calls it the Gulf of Mexico heat anomaly. You can just type it into Google, it'll tell you all about it. Now for today's adventure, what I think I was going to do was finish drawing the rest of the purple map in, because it's funny, when I first started making these maps, I actually drew the entire purple one first, then realized that mathematically it was only off slightly from the real version, like the blue one. So I redrew the blue one with the help of regular maps. So let's show you a good quick look at the full, let's do full yellow. Or not full yellow, just one yellow layer. There we go. This one is one of my favorites because how Asia and Australia look. I think it outlines it pretty nicely. Now people will say these solstice and equinox points, it's just arbitrary. It's only a coincidence that it happened to occur like this on the Earth. So I'd like to show Mars as an example now. Sorry, looks like it's going to take a while to load Mars. Maybe I don't have it in the RAM or something. Yeah, so you can see once you bring this pattern to Mars, you'll notice some of the geographic anomalies are outlined by the patterns as well. Not all of them, but yeah, this is one of my favorite ones. I don't know why. It's like bam. Alright, anyways, the equator on Mars is quite interesting. I'll just swap back to the Earth so I can show you. See, it's funny, if you go to the Earth, switch it to the equator, because it's easy to find the equator on the Earth. And then go back to Mars, it'll show you where the Mars equator is, because it'll be lined up in the same position. Luckily, Google was able to map the same map pattern that I made to the Earth and scale it right to the Mars. So I'm pretty sure it's mapping all the equinox points on the Mars as well. Which is kind of funny, right? Like, now I know the equinox parts of the fucking other planets. Anyways, not like I have them memorized. I still have to use the map. Alright, so there's Earth. Let's go check out Mars. Hopefully it won't spin it. Sometimes it tries to. It's like, fuck off. Stop spinning it. There we go. Now I turned it on infrared so that you could see the continents. Because before, without infrared, it would just be all one color and it's hard to tell. And why it shows the continents, it's elevation. So anything blue is very low and anything red is higher up. So yeah, I guess gray is the highest. Giant mountains. Yeah, so you can see that here on Mars's equator, we got a whole bunch of neat alignments occurring with the different mountains or whatever these things are. Volcanoes, I guess. Dormant volcanoes. You can see that the gravity well points definitely have really outlined themselves in colors in some cases. Anyways, the equator on Mars, take a look at some of the features here before I switch back to the Earth and see if you recognize any. Because one thing when I was a kid, first thing I questioned my dad about the Earth when I seen it on a globe, was like, Dad, why is there giant ridges close to the equator of the Earth? I'm like, are those ridges connected to the equator somehow? And he's like, no, it's just a coincidence. We just draw maps randomly and it doesn't have anything to do with where it's on. So I was like, oh, okay. But then as I got older, I realized that no, these ridge lines are actually in alignment with the equator, because not only are they on the Earth, but they're also on Mars, in the same position and angle. Not only that, but see this giant waterway that comes in towards the ridge lines of the equator? And check out how there's like a continent shaped like this. So remember that continent shape and a giant river coming in. Oh yeah, and the equator line on Mars, it connected to a giant river that split the continent. So it went through it and drained into the ocean. And this would be where the ocean was on Mars, right? So anyways, let's get back to our Earth and compare it. Yeah, next episode when I do this, I'm actually going to have two versions of Google Earth running on the same screen. So I'll be able to show both planets next to each other simultaneously. I can hardly wait. I'm going to set that up later today. Hopefully it fucking works. Praying to God. No, I'm not going to pray for technology, dear God. I got better health issues to be praying for than technology. Anyways. So here, before it spins away, let's zoom in a little bit. So here you can see those ridge lines near the equator. And it's funny because both ridge lines seem to map the general direction that it's going, making the orb here. But anyways, you can see on Mars, it had shifted slightly lower than the equator. So I don't know if that's like a shift that occurred in time, but I'm thinking it used to line up with its equator, but since becoming, what is it, geologically dead, they said, that maybe it's finished moving and it shifted a little. So anyways, so remember that shape, how there was like the big river going down to the equator. So we do actually have that smashing up in between North and South America, big sort of like river bottom crevice, bottom of the ocean that goes towards that. Oh yeah, and remember how on Mars, on the equator line, had this giant river going to the ocean, splitting the continent? Well, it's like if you zoom out, there actually is like a big continent here, bigger than if like how much water we have. If there was less water, you could see a giant continent here, and then it splits in the same spot and drains into the ocean. And this just so happens to be the Amazon River on the Earth. So isn't that fucked up that the Earth and the Mars almost have identical geography, including the gravity well pattern, helping illustrate it. So there, you can see this would be the Amazon River draining into the ocean. There's that giant canal that splits fucking North and South America. And then you can see too that even South America on Mars, the tip up at the top near was sunken in. So if there was lots of water, all this would be submerged. And you would only see the land up to here with the Amazon River going through it. The only thing that's fucked is these giant volcanoes here on Earth. This is fucking Hawaii. So we don't have these three ones. Unless that's the three close to Mexico. Let's check it out. I should check Earth's volcanoes. I'll see if I can bring that layer up. So does Earth have like volcanoes here? So let's check volcanoes. Volcanoes. I used to have a volcano layer. I don't know if it comes with Google anymore. I'll check. They got clouds. Well, check the cloud layer while we're here. Sometimes it's neat to see the relation between that. Oh yeah, if you zoom out, the clouds tend to come in better. Alright, so often the gravity well points will cause clouds to spin around them. I don't know, I think nature, regular science or established science is always calling them jet streams or whatever. I'm pretty sure there must be some scientists that are associating it with gravity, because they already talk about being able to see the evidence of gravity waves. Yeah, you can see like occasionally the clouds will spin like formations right around them. Sort of like how a black hole makes things spin around it. Now, oddly enough, sometimes there's these weird line patterns that come out of Asia that match the red lines on my map. I don't see any today, but if you want to go into my archive, I definitely have lots where there's just weird lines that are always matching. Now, there's some of my viewers when I posted my research about this on Adept Initiates. If you want to check out their Facebook page and websites, good information place. But anyways, yeah, they were asking about Africa and how it relates. So let me just show off some of Africa. Yeah, so the Congo River, similar to how in South America it goes along the equator line. The Congo wraps around the gravity well of the Africa. You can see even the green around it sort of makes like a greener area right around the well. If you check out some of the other smaller layer wells, like the red one, it almost lines up with Lake Victoria. I'm not sure why it didn't. Maybe it's shifted at some point. It's pretty weird. Now, red layer is a little bit much. I usually like to leave it off. Alright, so I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover for the gravity wells today. Now I'm just going to work on the map a little bit if anyone wants to see how I do it. I'm going to try remapping the, whatchamacallit, the ancient purple layer. And one of the neat parts about it is it actually maps modern cities pretty well. So I'm going to make one today. I'll show you how it works. I'll draw the line from Ottawa to the yellow one as the beginning. Let's try to make it as parallel as I can. There probably is an indicator here. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'll make it on the border of the state. They usually make the state border right where the lines meet up. Alright, so the hard part about this now is I got to freehand draw a line around the globe. It's not easy. If anyone knows a Google Earth method to just draw a line right around the Earth automatically, holy fuck, that would save me months of work. But anyways, I'll try to do it by freehand. It's probably circle, eh? Circle might do it. Let's try that. Now let's clear that. Now, see, it's drawing a circle, but I need like an actual line that goes around the whole globe, right? Not a circle. So clear that. Well, anyways, I guess I'll have to just draw it. We're gonna go with path. I don't know why they did that, eh? Like, why would they make the paths the lines? Oh well. You can see, even the gravity well seems to make this area greener, right? Alright, so the interesting part is if you zoom out, it does make it a little bit easier to make it round, because then you're like, hey, I guess I can just draw it right next to it. As long as I keep it parallel with this, it should be a straight line right around the globe. Now normally I would just put 2 points, but then the line gets all fucked up, so you usually got to put more than 2. Yeah, I'm just measuring with the help of that triangle up there. I'll put it on that city. Usually cities help line it up pretty good. For some reason, a lot of them are on it. Yeah, so we can see it got too thick at some point. We got to move it closer. Alright, so we'll call this, we'll make this one purple. Make it one of the ancient sight lines, or just freehand lines, that's what I'll call them. And I'll make it wider so it's easier to see. And I'll call it the Ottawa line. Because it goes through Ottawa's Peace Tower. I'll show it to you in a second. Now I've drawn this line before, so I'm familiar with where it goes. Alright, so next we'll have Washington and New York. I think we have to draw lines to there. Yeah, this one I think is the Atlantis line. That's what I used to call it. Because not only does it go through Washington, but it goes through my best guess for Atlantis, going by the map itself. Come on, piece of shit. It's like I want it to go there, so what does it do? It puts it the opposite. Always the opposite. Alright, so it's nice. I'll just leave the other map on so I can just draw it with its help. Because without the real map, I can't fucking draw these lines. It's near impossible. Fuck. I gotta stop putting them in the wrong order like that. Yeah, see, if you wait too long to draw a new line, it starts getting all fucking skewed. Whatever. Piece of shit. Now, hopefully when we're done this line set, I can show you another alignment that's pretty cool. It was one of my favorite alignments, so when I changed the map to make it more accurate and it didn't line up anymore, it was kind of a piss off. So it'll be nice to see the old alignment back. Yeah, knew that was going to happen. Seen it coming a mile away. I was going to say, how many fucking line points is this one? Normally I can get away with just drawing 4 points. I think I drew like 6 this time. Alright, so we'll make this one also purple, and I'll call it Washington, D.C. Alright, so let's drag those into the ancient sight lines. Alright, next we'll do the Toronto line, I think. That's a good one. Alright, so this one's a challenging one. Oh, there, I see it. It's like, which line is it running parallel with? I can't even see it. So it's that blue line there. Now, once I align this a little bit more precise, I'll put it right on the towers to show you where modern architecture actually lines up pretty nice with the same pattern. I think it's because I used the equinox solstice thing. So since this map is showing the equinox solstice thing, if you use the same pattern, it's going to line up on the map. Oh, that was nice. Didn't have to fucking remove it. Yeah, now that I got those other two purple ones, I can just put the points there. Or maybe not. Piece of shit. Yeah, it still wants another one halfway. Come on. Alright, so we'll call this one the Toronto line. We'll make it purple also. And we'll make it 4 wide so we can see it nice and good. So isn't that weird? How we got this another line pattern just slightly off from the other one that lines up with all the capitals. So I'll show just how good this one is. Let's go to the Washington DC line, properties, and I'll move the dot right to the center point of this, what is it called, the obelisk. Where's the obelisk? It's gotta be around the District of Columbia. I can see it. Ah, there it is. There's the obelisk. Alright, so where is it? There we go. So we'll put this right on the obelisk. Has anyone seen the layout for Washington, D.C.? I should draw it sometime. Anyways, we'll do that some other time. We'll do a whole episode in Washington, D.C. Alright, so that's that one. Ottawa's Peace Tower, we'll do that next. Now, strangely enough, Ottawa has like this giant tower just like an obelisk too, but we call ours the Peace Tower. I'll just go to it on the map. I'll never find it like this. There we go. Oh, there it was. Said I would never find it, and yet it was right there. Alright, so this is our giant obelisk like tower. So I'll put it right on the top of it. Connect that other line. Did it connect? No, it did not. There we go. Alright, so that's the Washington, Ottawa, oh yeah, Toronto, CN Tower line. Let's do it. CN Tower should be easy to find. It's fucking giant. It's the biggest of all the obelisks. I'm kind of lucky, eh? Got to grow up right next to the biggest obelisk in the world. They always say in Canada everything's bigger. Alright, so should be able to find it by the Sky Dome. What the fuck? Where's Sky Dome? Isn't that it? Yeah, there's the aquarium. Oh, there it is. I can see the tower. Now, I've been up to the top of the tower once. Man, did it ever scare the shit out of me. That's a fucking high tower. But anyways, it was still a fun trip. Alright, so that's the major obelisks in Ottawa, blah blah blah, Toronto, Washington DC, all lining up to here. And then you just check out the west coast, see if it lined up with anything. Yeah, so it almost lines up to Edmonton. It's off by a hair, huh? I could just move it on to Edmonton, and it would probably still look true. So I don't know, it's kind of wild when you think about it, eh? Here, let's take away the blue lines. Or which ones to take away? Let's try yellow. Yeah, so it's weird. It's like if you look at the ancient sites line and the one with even modern buildings today, it is just slightly off the other pattern. Although I do need the yellow to see it. I'm trying to think, what's the deal here? Why is the pattern slightly off? If anyone has any clues as to why it's slightly off on this part, let me know. It'd be nice to be able to just fix it. Now you can see why this was extremely frustrating when I drew the entire purple map by hand, not even knowing about the real true version. Then I drew the true version, This is my first time actually comparing the two. It's like they are damn close. It's like it pisses me off how close they are and why they couldn't just be the same. Would have made everything way easier. Now at one point I wanted to like just bend the map so that it would fit, like say it was the true version. But it's like no, I have to draw both. To me, I don't feel right saying that one version's right over the other. There is two versions. They're slightly different from each other. Now there is one of the lines that connects the Stonehenge too. I should draw that line sometime. I think it's the next purple one that way. Oh, that's Norway. Must be there. Yeah, the good old France gravity well point. Helps outline the continent. Now, I'll turn on the earthquake layer because I'm just tempted to see it. I haven't seen it in a while. I was checking yesterday because I could have swore we were going to get a California quake soon. I kept dreaming about it, but no, just another dream. Thank God. Yeah. Yeah, nothing too big in California quakes. I wonder what the date for these is. January the 17th. Yeah, so it's pretty recently. Ooh, that little section in there, huh? Yeah, that Idaho section, that always gets me. What is it, the other one? Oh yeah, this one. The little gravity well point here, where Mount Rushmore is. It's quite interesting, eh? How it just like managed to outline it. Oh well. Yeah. That was fun. Today I was always hoping to redraw some of the ancient lines because I hadn't had them on the map for a while. So it's kind of neat to see them back. Yeah, the red layer is kind of neat all on its own. Yeah, there's the one off Italy, eh? It's funny how earthquakes are usually quite common around here, I think. Oh yeah, there's even like a circular ridge right at the bottom. Yeah, the red layers. This Black Sea point. This one's popular on, what's his name? Perry Reese's map. And I think the point that I have here is very similar to his major point. So it's almost like his map was a layer under this one. Because you can always just keep dividing it in half and half and half, making more detailed and finer layer after layer. Yeah, I always wondered where the Black Sea gravity well was. So it's right in the center there, huh? Oh, Cyprus. You can see how it got mapped. Yeah, Jerusalem. Oh yeah, the line that is the Gulf of the Abaca. Oh, the Persian Gulf. That's kind of a neat one, huh? Always wondered why the Persian Gulf was that shape, huh? Now, as funny as I make fun of the red layer, if I turn it only on and all the other ones off, it does have its own value. Because it's showing points that the other ones really don't show. And it outlines its fair share. Now, if anyone's ever seen the Boot of Zealandia before, I'll show it to you. It's pretty cool. There it is. So that's what the continent looks like if it hadn't sank. Well, if the water hadn't sank it. Pretty big continent, huh? They say that Zealandia is actually bigger than the United States. I was like, geez, that's pretty crazy. Shame we can't just like put a lot of the water into ice form somewhere, like on purpose, build a giant dam, freeze it all, and then lower the water level so we could have Zealandia back. Pretty sure that's how the South Pole split in the first place. They probably used that plan and it backfired. Yeah, I think my nosebleed has pretty much went away, so hopefully I'll be able to get a nap in now. Definitely woke up too early because of it. Ah, the Sea of Otosk. So that's why it's there. Ah, the South China Sea. Or East China Sea. Ah, this gravity well here caused that formation of the Yellow Sea. I should call that the Yellow Sea gravity well. I'll draw an orb for that, naming it. Draw orb, name you after it. Name it after you. Not the other way, name you after it. Yeah, so I'll turn off Zealandia for now. Man, the more I learn about New Zealand, the more I like it. What a cool place. I can't believe they're so lucky. They got mountains too. Yeah, if I lived in New Zealand, I would probably never travel anywhere. Looks like the best place to live ever. And they're so lucky that they're not overpopulated yet. Wonder how long that'll take. Can guarantee you another 10 years their population will probably be like 10 times. There won't be any land left. Like Canada. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Yeah, I think if I was like to fly to any random tropical location, I probably would pick New Zealand. I don't know if it's tropical there all the time, but man, of all the places to go, why would you go anywhere else? Any other place you go tropical is going to have horrible bugs and diseases, and from what I heard, New Zealand has some of the least. So it's like, what the fuck? They even got the goods for bugs. When they say sand flies is the worst thing they got, it's like, dear God, compare that to malaria. Yeah, I'm gonna check to see if we got the volcano folder. That's another thing I was hoping to find out. Earth, volcano, Google, Earth, layer, KMZ. See if that finds it. Yeah, it says there's one at volcano.si.eu. Alright, so I downloaded it. Let's try to import it. Excuse me. Fuck, I hate it when I vaporize so much. Alright, anyways. Let's import that file. We'll turn off the earthquakes for now because it uses quite a bit of memory. The fuck, you piece of shit. That is not where I put you. There we go. Holy, you can check out volcanoes by age. This is fucking wild. Alright, so anyways. Oh, there it is, the 3. So anyways, let's put the map back. This is kind of neat when I do these shows live, because I'm like learning about this as you guys are too. Alright, so apparently we had a big fucking thing of earthquakes there, and there. Let's check out Mars. We'll zoom out a bit. And then that giant one out there is Hawaii. So let's check it. Come on, Mars. Get your act together. I should have turned the volcanoes off first. That's probably what's lagging it. Because now it's going to try to map Earth's volcanoes onto Mars. Come on, I can't move. There we go. Just had to turn the volcanoes off. Alright, so it's on a band on that. So let's check back. So it would have to be on these. Oh, it should be slightly shifted too, because remember, Mars was slightly off. Yeah, only one is there. 1, 2, 3 that way. It is still kind of neat though. 3 earthquakes. I'll have to, once I get both Google programs running on 2 computers, I can compare the two. This is where it'll come in handy. Because without it, really, it's hard to keep jumping back and forth comparing them. Let's see how accurate this map is. It is not accurate. No, because the main reason I know it's not accurate is because there's tons of volcanoes up here. Everywhere you go up north, there's just volcano, volcano. So if they're not showing volcanoes here, then they're missing some of the biggest ones. Ours are really old ones, so that's why maybe I'm thinking that that's why they don't show them. They're too old. But it's a little bit disappointing, because now I know that this map isn't really that accurate. They don't have Canada's in there. I don't know why. Why would they not put Canada's volcanoes? I was surprised too. When I went up north, I was like, holy shit, we got volcanoes everywhere in Canada. That's neat, eh? All these island chains are basically just volcanoes. Yeah, Italy, that's the Pompeii ones, right? Yeah, it's neat to look at other countries and see where their volcanoes were. Or are. Holy shit, eh? Africa's got a good amount of volcanoes. The fuck? Why do I have this out? What is going on? Why is it drawing dots? I don't have any windows open. What the fuck? There we go. I don't know why it was trying to draw lines. What a piece of shit. That's why I was lagging. It was trying to fucking draw lines the whole time. Oh yeah. So New Zealand's got volcanoes right up to there. So that's probably another reason why New Zealand wasn't heavily populated. Maybe volcanoes destroyed it at one point. Holy fuck, man. That's quite the volcano, right? Yeah, it's neat how scientists will say a volcano is dormant. I wonder what determines that. Yeah, it's funny, I'm trying to find volcano patterns on Mars, and I don't even know what the volcano patterns are on Earth. But there is definitely, like, you got your equator one, and then you got 3 off to the side. And 1 way, way out there. So when you switch to Mars, whoops. See, it puts Earth's volcanoes onto Mars in the same general locations that they would be if it was the same planet. So now we can see what Earth's and Mars earthquakes would line up, or volcanoes. So none there that'll line up. This one did line up. So this is actually a volcano on Mars and Earth in the same spot. And who knows how many mini volcanoes Mars has. These are just gigantic ones, right? So that one lines up with that. Yeah, I bet you there would be volcanoes on here on Mars. You can see it's like a higher region. Alright, let's see Earth's Hawaii. Where is that? Around here. Or no, there it is. It's kind of neat because it shows you where the North Pole of Mars is. This would be the Alaska of Mars. Or no, this would be. So this is the region that Alaska has its earthquakes. So maybe this would be the volcano or earthquake activities most on Mars. So you can see this would be the Japan region of Mars. Or the Asian continent. No, nothing too much really stands out as interesting. Alright, that's cool. So for today's episode, we got some more of the ancient lines drawn back in North America, or I guess in general around the globe, to line up with the blue layer. Although they do line up with some of the yellow layer too, it seems. So we're getting close to adding a copy of the old version of the map that I had with the new version. So that'd be kind of neat. I always wanted to compare the old and new. Now people can leave it in the chat if you think it all is just coincidence. I think a lot of it is coincidence, but maybe like 1 or 2% maybe could be some sort of scientific testable effect. Not much of it though. Who knows? Could be more. This almost reminds me, it's like, what happens if the globe was slightly smaller? Then all of a sudden this map would fit perfect. If the map kept expanding, maybe that's what threw it off. That's the only thing I'm guessing right now. Because I figure, like, if you just shrunk the globe slightly, all of a sudden this would line up perfect. Oh well, maybe one day the globe will shrink. Now for now, I like how it outlines the continent there though. With the blue and purple, that's a nice line pattern. Alright, so let's wrap up the show. I guess we'll check out my affiliate links. Yeah, if you want to help out with my affiliate links, we've got Patreon. And there's, I think, 4 people that are already signed up for $1 a month. So if you want to help, sign up for $1 a month too. Really appreciate it. And I think one person was only able to do 1 month, but I don't mind that. If people are in rough shape and they just got $1 to help out with, you can always send it to me via PayPal or email too. Or what you call it, email money transfers if you're in Canada, PayPal if you're in other countries. I'll give you my email address in a second. Let's go to the patrons list first. Alright, so the people helping with the Patreon, it's Jim, Ray, Travis, and Suki. And we got a patron song coming up, and it's Suki by Jimmy Ray Travis. So, no, serious though, I'm working on a song for the patrons. It's going to include everyone's names. So if you want your name included in the patron song, just hook up with $1 a month, or maybe even just cancel after one. It's up to you. And we got other plans too. If you're loaded, definitely couldn't hurt to have a few loaded people helping my research. That would be nice. But anyways, so yeah, let's get back to Google Earth. And this one will allow me to show you my email address, so let's do that quick. So there's my email address. Fuck. Let's minimize this. There we go. Leland2@hotmail.com. And yeah, that's my email address. If you want to send PayPal money donations or email money transfers, that email address will work. Alright, so anyways, let's get back to, yeah, the affiliate links. Right, so that was Patreon. Society 6, finishing quick is my specialty. It's a saying that comes on t-shirts and bed sheets, both popular with the ladies. Hideout TV, it'll pay you to watch videos. Swagbucks will pay you to shop online. GameKit will pay you to play free games. And free Bitcoin will give you free money and Bitcoin spins, sort of like a faucet. If you want to start collecting cryptocurrencies and you don't have any money to invest, these sites are perfect because they're designed for that. Here, I'll show you how it works. 1 second. There it is. Yeah. So this one is the traditional Bitcoin casino faucet, and I'll show it to you. It's called Free Bitcoin, and just make sure you don't lose your passwords. If you lose your passwords, they actually charge you money to resend the password code. I just found that out yesterday. But anyways, so let's give it a roll. I'm at 150,320 Satoshi. Boom, 150,326 Satoshi. So that was fucking sweet. Alright, so big shout out to everyone who's helping me with this. We already got 75 people helping, so I really appreciate that, guys. And how it works, every time you do spins and collect the free money, you're getting me reward points. And these reward points I can cash out for Satoshi. So it's sweet. And if you want to get it, just get your own referral going, and you can start sharing it on all your websites and stuff too. Help people collect cryptocurrency. It even comes with a earn Bitcoin, where you get 4.8% or 0.08. So you can see I'm collecting Satoshi, don't even have to do anything. Right, next we have BetFury. It's my second favorite, or actually my all-time favorite Bitcoin faucet. Same thing, you click here if you want to get the free money. It's in the all boxes. Right, so now I have to do the CAPTCHA. CAPTCHA is pretty challenging in this, so don't get frustrated if you lose a few times. Just keep trying. You can do it. Pick the car. You like it. There we go, I won. Right, now I'm up to 1,378 Satoshi. You get referral bonuses for this as well. See how my referrals are doing. Holy fuck. One of my referrals just got me all this cryptocurrency. So big thanks to my referrals. Yeah, that's my other balance. In this BetFury, they give you cryptocurrencies like Ethereum, Tron, Tether, BitTorrent. Sun I've never gotten yet, but it is on here. And the BFG tokens are shares of the casino. So if you want to start winning shares of the casino, build up a big balance, and just pick the free games. Or not free games, all games. Go to in-house. In-house has the lowest minimums. So you can start a game like, say, Plinko. Put your bet down to 2. That's my favorite, 1 or 2. And just let it roll on auto. So there you go. Now you're making money or winning shares of the casino. As you can see, every time these go down or up, all of a sudden that's changing how many shares of the casino I have. So yeah, if you can get a whole bunch of shares, you'll be styling. I'll show you what happens when you get the shares. We'll let these balls fall into their place. Yeah, so when you want share payouts, you just go to staking. And as long as you have 10 shares saved up, then you can start collecting. And right now I have 186, so this is how much I get. 47 Satoshi, all these other currencies. So good luck, everyone. Let's see how many people I have helping me with this already. So far we have 15 people helping. One person has already put almost 10 million Satoshi in bets, so congratulations to them. They really helped out my referral. Right, so let's get back to the Google Earth shit. Yeah, so I hope everyone enjoys my affiliate links and enjoys my work on gravity well maps. I also do video game content, doing some vlogging content. I've got a vlogging channel that only has about 5 videos, but springtime I'm getting a whole bunch more added to that soon. So hopefully we can get my YouTube channel up to 1,000 subs. If you haven't subbed already, you can help me out my goal for that. That'd be sweet too. If you can help like and share the videos, that's awesome. Let's just see. Yeah, let's go to the fire screen. No, I forgot the last of the affiliates. Now that wasn't all the affiliates. You can also click the show more information button to see all these and more, including my website and also the virtual maid sex machine. It's for adults and men only, but if ladies need a sex machine, they know who to call. Just kidding, unless our lockdown in Canada ever ends. Alright, so anyway, so there's the virtual mate. It is a real product. They did even ship me one, but I had to ship the money or send it. Anyways, so take care, everyone. What else was there? Oh yeah, the fire screen. Fire! If you happen to get any gravity wells in your vaporizer and they taste like shit, give the show a dislike, thumbs down. But if that doesn't happen, and you can give the show a like, thumbs up. Really appreciate it. And a sub and a share. Just make sure you never buy the products from my sponsor, because it will ruin your life. Yeah, Crack is my sponsor. Later. Bye for now. Yeah, my sponsor will get mad. Let's do the message. Today's Gravity Well episodes were brought to you by Crack. Crack, it'll fuck you up. Woo! Hey, 2 likes. Thanks, everybody. Almost forgot to give a shout out to the viewers. Thanks, Gaming Zone, for commenting and watching the video. Appreciate it. Have a good night, everyone. A good day. And just be careful. You never know, gravity will pull you down.